Evening. Welcome to the April 19th Clifton Park Town Board meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Teresa, if you call the roll.
Councilwoman Flood?
Here.
Councilwoman Sanders?
Here.
Councilman Morelli?
Here.
Councilwoman Wallowa?
Here.
Supervisor Barrett?
Here. Entertain a motion to approve town board meeting minutes of the 5th and 12th
So
of
moved.
April. Moved by Ms. Wallowitz.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Morelli. Discussion. Okay, please.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanders?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowa?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Okay, a couple of communications and updates. First, we had a little excitement last week with the bridge accident that's received a great deal of press coverage and daily changes that are occurring with the process of repairing the bridge and getting traffic patterns back to normal. DOT did work expediently. They were able to get a couple lanes open the next day following the incident, which was obviously very helpful to the morning commute. And at this point, all I know is that it's going to take a number of weeks before Siddeley Road is completely open. I know DOT is considering and studying some options as far as Siddeley Road in the near future, but nothing that I can confirm at this point. But I do know that it will take a number of weeks before Siddeley Road would be able to be completely open again. And so a rather vague timeline, but they have not, in my discussions with DOT, they have not committed to any timeline at this point. So obviously with Siddeley Road closed, it is pushing motorists on other nearby streets. Crossing Boulevard, Clifton Country Road, Route 146, Route 9, have all experienced a significant increase in traffic since the accident and closure of Siddeley Road. So we'll continue to keep everyone updated as things progress, and as DOT confirms plans moving forward. Certainly will help relay that information. Although the press outlets have been very timely with their reporting, as soon as DOT does confirm a change in their plans or an option that they're reviewing, it is reported quickly. So just stay tuned, and hopefully we'll get Siddeley Road open sooner than later, because that's really what's applying pressure on other roadways, and it's very noticeable as you travel in the exit 9 area. Okay, so it's an unfortunate accident. You see the pictures of the piece of equipment just laying in the road, piece of equipment that hit the bridge, and the damage underneath, obviously, that was done, and just a terrible mistake made by somebody, and DOT and partners working hard to bring things back to normal. Secondly, I do want to just report back that our most recent vaccine clinic at the Clifton Park Senior Community Center went very well, and I want to thank many volunteers as well as staff that worked to make that a smooth clinic. We have folks that will be coming back for a second shot in 2 days, 3 weeks apart from the first clinic we had and then the second clinic. And we're up to now 110,000 county residents that have received one shot. So that is very good progress in a fairly short period of time. So the numbers, as far as people that are vaccinated, the numbers are climbing and climbing relatively quickly. And now that the age range is much lower for people that are eligible for the shot, that too is added to demand in the short term. So again, thank you for everybody that helped make that happen. We have a couple of events coming up. We have Shredding Day coming up in a couple of weeks, but more, that'll be on a Sunday, 1 to 3, first Sunday in May. But we also have a couple of events coming up this weekend, including our annual clean sweep of the town of Clifton Park. We've done that for many years, and do you have an update on that?
Yeah, thank you very much. So Saturday, April 24th is the Green Committee's annual Clean Sweep Day. That goes from 9 to 12. We have just about under 300 people registered to clean up that day, but there's still plenty of space. We have plenty of roadways, trails, preserves, and open spaces for people to clean up. So we can use all the help we can get, and there's still locations. If you're interested, just email us at cleansweep@cliftonpark.org, and that event takes place between 9 and 12 on Saturday. Also on Saturday, in celebration of Arbor Day, the Green Committee will be planting trees at the Common in the median section. That will take place at 11 o'clock. Prior to that, from 9 to 11, the Green Committee will also be handing out tree saplings. Typically, we do this at Shen's Science Night, but since that's not occurring this year, we will be doing it at the parking lot in the Senior Center. The Parks and Rec Department usually does a celebration for Arbor Day as well. Since they could not do their typical program this year, they have purchased some birdhouse kits, which we will also be giving away with the tree saplings from 9 to 11 in the Senior Center parking lot on Saturday, just prior to the tree planting. So it should be a really good day.
Very good. And we are looking forward to the return of Shen Science Night, because that was always very well attended event. I know a lot of us went there over the years to be a part of it, and so hopefully that'll come back at some point. But a lot of things that you can get involved with as far as the cleanup day goes. If you can't do it between 9 and 12 on Saturday, that's okay. You know, if you have an assigned trailer park, you can do it on your own time the following day, or maybe during the week, whatever works for you. So we try to center a lot of volunteers on that 9 to 12 time frame, because the garbage is left there, and then we have folks that come around on Monday to pick up all the garbage. So it's a big event, and so I thank everybody for volunteering, and glad to offer it. Anyone else? Okay. All right, well, we do have with us this evening Mr. Andy Gilpin, Executive Director of Captain. How are you tonight, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank
You would come right up to the podium. Andy contacted me recently, and he's not new to Captain, that's for sure. But he is new to the Executive Director role, and he wanted to stop by and talk about his new role and how he's settling in. So take it away, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Bill, and the entire board for giving me the opportunity to just be here tonight and say hello, introduce myself, and like Phil said, I've been with Captain for about 11 years now, so you may have seen me here and there, but I just wanted to introduce myself in my new role as Executive Director. So many of you know, longtime Executive Director Sue Petroka retired at the end of 2020, and just incredibly grateful to the board for selecting me to take her place. And it's just been amazing. I had a long time with her. She actually gave us almost a year to plan for this. So it's been really great transition, although, you know, middle of the pandemic is not the ideal time to take on new roles, but it's been very good. So I just wanted to come tonight to introduce myself and to talk to you a little bit. Tell you, you know, how well Captain has done this past year. You know, 2020 has just been a very, very difficult year for everybody, but mostly for the residents and those people with low-income situations lost their employment or reduced hours or all the different hardships that came along with this. And I'm just so proud that our staff and our volunteers were there with the different programs we have, particularly our food pantry. Food pantry saw tremendous increase this year, and I was just really proud that we were able to be there and support them. Many new people coming to us for the first time, never experienced having used the food pantry before, never experienced a situation where they couldn't put food on the table themselves. And just, it was important that we maintained that. So, you know, at the beginning of the height of COVID, nobody knew what to do. All people were kind of trying to adjust and what we do. So we just knew we had to keep that program alive and well. So we made lots of adjustments, changed things around. So we were doing just contactless delivery of that food, you know, to get to people. Institute new delivery programs to homebound people, seniors and others, and just really try to mobilize as much as we can. And that's a huge thank you to this board and to the residents of Clifton Park, you know, Supervisor Barrett with organizing, you know, I think it was 3 or 4 food drives through Facebook and through other avenues, really helped us support during that time. So I really want to say thank you for that. That was really amazing. And even offering, I mean, the brand new building over there for a short period of time for us to store some food, the senior center, you know, we had so much of an outpouring that we just didn't have space for us. So it was just really great that we could partner on that and partner in so many ways, not just this year, but over the years. So I wanted to thank everybody for their support for that and what we did to help us. So we could help those less fortunate. Our senior services, CareLinks, again, one of those programs we just knew was vital. We need to stay connected to seniors, especially during this time. So I'm just really proud of the effort of our staff and volunteers who still made those connections, made sure we got the seniors food, the other things they needed, the friendly check-ins, the visits, getting the doctor's appointments that were necessary at that time. It was really difficult, but still made that happen. And our youth shelter, that's just another one I want to call out. We never, ever closed the doors during that entire time. And so teens that had a housing crisis, that had a problem, could still come to us. We served over 73 youth this past through 2020, which was, you know, we typically get around 100, 110. However, that's, you know, considering everything, we kept everybody safe, everybody kept COVID out of the facility, and just really had good precautions around that we were there. And we were there for the community in so many different ways throughout this year. And that's largely thank you to this board and support we've had over the years, and I just wanted to take that opportunity to thank you.
Well, thank you, Andy. We appreciate all the work that you did through COVID to support so many people, and it's always been a pleasure working with Sue and yourself. We wish Sue all the best in her retirement.
Yes.
And you know, I want to commend you and your team because your pantry remained open throughout COVID. It's not an easy task. Like you said, you had a lot of new customers to the pantry because literally overnight, many people lost their jobs. Yeah. And they were looking for outlets for assistance that they never had previously. But you and Captain were there, and we appreciate that. You know, the food drives that we did were successful because the residents of Clifton Park were so generous, and they made it. They were the ones that made it happen. We were just a vehicle to collect it. And you know, we support Captain and CareLinks significantly in the town budget each year. Now with CareLinks, you know, COVID affected every program to some extent. How does CareLinks look now as we've gone through COVID? You know, what changes did you have to make to continue those contacts with older folks in our community that need assistance?
Yeah, so we had to change around, that's a great question. We had to change around some of the protocols around it because we just couldn't have people coming into the homes. They were just, you know, the vulnerable population of seniors, we all knew. So we did a lot more kind of remote friendly visiting. We did lots of drop-offs, you know, touchless kind of things that we could do. The vital doctor appointments and things like that, we made sure that still happened. And we try to employ more of our Wellness Express. That's another part of what we do as well. So we have this Wellness Express that van that goes around to help seniors get to different appointments, medical appointments. We employed more of that. But thankfully now we've kind of turned the corner a bit and we're really getting to the point where people are vaccinated. So both parties are vaccinated. Everybody feels comfortable. We're having more of the in-home visits now. So we're having more contact, more help, support. And we're really starting to see more return to the normal CareLinks style of program where the person can visit, multiple times a week or whatever the schedule that works for everybody. But now they're more able to get in home with that. You don't have to do quite as much remote touch-free kind of things, which has been great.
Are they still giving rides on a regular basis? How's
Yeah.
that working now?
Yep, so we have lots of cleaning protocols that we make sure everybody is safe, wipe down things, make sure we're wearing masks while we're in there, make sure we're washing hands or hand sanitizer as much as possible, and just making sure that the ride is very clean before and after for that. But that's one thing we've also tried to pick up more with as well. So yes, we can definitely call. Seniors can reach out to us if they need help, they need support. Get connected to the CareLinks program, and then we'll make a match with a volunteer who's ready to help. We've actually had a lot more volunteers calling to say that they're willing to come back now. They feel comfortable, they're vaccinated, they feel like they can now return to working with their care receiver. And we're always looking for more volunteers for that. So if anybody knows with folks who have feel more comfortable now going back and helping out and giving back, we'd love to talk to them for the CareLinks program.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's been great. Now our miles, if you look at our report from 2020, the miles driven is dramatically off from what we usually are, but that is returning. So.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected. Yeah. But we've always found a great deal of value in the program. Originally, it started here at our senior center years ago, but it was more recently with CHS, and then when CHS and Captain merged. The money that we would provide to CHS transferred over to Captain. So it just became part of our annual support.
Yeah, it's one we're really, really proud of. And I, again, appreciate the support and the financial assistance with that and the ongoing support. It's just really, it's an important link, not only to what you're doing with the senior center and the seniors in the community of Clifton Park, but just in general for other communities around. So.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
And I have just a, one pager describing things. I'm gonna leave it over on the side here.
Sure.
We have a report that I would love to share with you once that's complete, and you can get just a really good view of how Captain is supported and what we've done this year. Which is again unlike any other year. But if anybody had questions, I'd be happy to answer. And
anybody have any questions for Andy?
No, I was just gonna say, Andy,
Yeah.
Can you just remind people if they want to donate, where do they drop off stuff?
Great. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. I kind of forget we're still
We're on
broadcasting.
YouTube land.
Yeah. Definitely. You can always go. There's two places. You can always go to our website, see what programs we have. We have a wish list on there that all of our programs update on a regular basis when a need arises, so they can see what that is. And then most times they can either drop off at the Clifton Park a location, 5 Municipal Plaza. If somebody has things that they're cleaning out their house and they have items that they would like to go to our treasure store, so Captain's Treasures next to the new store, where we resell, and all the resale of those donated items go to support programs and services. So we would greatly accept those things as well at the treasure store, which is just next to the Key Bank and Warren Tire and right there.
And the cookie place.
And the cookie place. I should say the cookie place. Cookie factory. That's how you. Yeah. Exactly. We get a lot of overflow from over there.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
And their offices are at the Public Safety Building, exit 9, right off Maxwell Road.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for that as well. That's just a great space for us, and over the years has really helped us maintain this growth that we've had as we serve more people. And also, quick plug, thank you for the air purifiers. They make a huge difference in the offices.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're really great. So thank you for that as well.
Good. Yeah, that's we're very hopeful that that is creating a healthier work environment for everybody.
Very much so.
All over the town.
Yeah.
And I should also point out that their pantry is located in the Public Safety Building, so you can drop off donations to the pantry there, non-perishable food items as well as personal care items.
Definitely. Thank you. And actually, Mike Hawley, our new board president.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, thank you. Hi everyone. And I just wanted to, two things. One is, to support Andy, not that he needs.
Excuse me, Mike, would you come to the?
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
It doesn't come across very well because of the,
Sure.
mics.
Yeah, I just wanted to support Andy, as I said, not that he needs a lot of support. We're just very proud as a board to have him in the leadership role. And as he was saying, we're incredibly proud of the staff and the volunteers that have worked, tirelessly and have been so creative throughout this whole challenge. So we really thank them. But also, a chance on behalf of the board to thank the town and the community for all of your support. I think it's been a great partnership, if you will, to help meet the needs, particularly at this time. But your ongoing support, funding, the volunteers from the community, all of that is just so essential to being able to provide the services that folks, really need and have come to depend on. So just wanted to add our thanks as well.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. And please thank the board for us.
We will. Thank you.
For all the good work you're doing.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
We'll see you soon.
Okay. Good luck on the rest of your business.
You're more than welcome to stay.
It's okay. We appreciate it.
I do, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I do want to mention one thing I did not mention during communications and announcements, and it was a very precarious situation that one of our town employees did a fantastic job identifying. And Linda Enders, who works in our senior van dispatch office, she had asked one of our security officers during the day to do a welfare check on an individual who frequently uses the senior bus. She hadn't heard from him in a few days, which is abnormal. She tried calling his house, did not receive an answer. And upon arriving at his home, Sharon Simmons, one of our security officers, found the 81-year-old gentleman on the floor. So she contacted emergency services, and this situation had a positive ending, and he received the care he needed and was fine. But just want to thank Linda and Sharon for this tremendous job. It's that extra care that employees here at the town take to keep somebody in mind that they speak with all the time and they get to know. And if they don't hear from them for a little while, they suspect something might be wrong, and in this case it was. So I want to thank Linda and Sharon for teaming up on helping residents in a tough situation. All right, we do have several resolutions for consideration. Teresa, if you could read through those, please.
A resolution hiring additional staff for the 2021 summer day camp program, whereas the town board wishes to retain returning counselors as staff members for the operation of the town's summer camp program for 2021. And whereas Myra Kramer, Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs, has recommended that the individuals listed in the attached Schedule A be hired. Now therefore be it resolved that the individuals listed in the attached Schedule A be accepted as staff for the town's 2021 summer day camp program to be paid as indicated on the respective schedule through the 2021 summer camp season. A resolution hiring additional golf course employees for the Barney Road Golf Course for the 2021 season, whereas openings exist for part-time attendants for the Barney Road Golf Course, and whereas the town board wishes to hire seasonal staff to the 2021 season at the golf course, and whereas Myra Kramer, Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs, has recommended that the individuals listed on Schedule A be hired as staff for the golf course per the approved summer recreation matrix schedule. Now therefore be it resolved that authorization is hereby given to hire the Kimberly Linsborough and William Tracy for the Barney Road Golf Course effective April 1st, 2021 through the remainder of the 2021 season to be paid as indicated on the attached Schedule A from golf course part-time employees. A resolution authorizing 2021 final budget adjustments as specified in Exhibit A. Whereas the comptroller has recommended that certain budget adjustments contained in Exhibit A be made to address the needs of all funds as well as other miscellaneous expenditures as set forth in Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved that the budget adjustments specified in Exhibit A be adopted per the comptroller's recommendation. A resolution awarding the bid for the pool chemicals for the Barney Road local claim and Bergen Court pools for the 2021 season. Whereas on April 9, 2021, bids were received for the above referenced contract. And whereas the supervisor has recommended that the bid for pool chemicals for the 3 town pools be awarded to Surpass Chemical Company Incorporated for the following amounts: sodium hypochlorite per gallon, 1.215, carbon bleach, 5-gallon container, 7.20 container, uric acid, 5-gallon or per gallon in 5-gallon cardboard, $3.59 a gallon, rum deposit, $8 per cardboard, and sodium bisulfate per pound, 0.58 cents a pound. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby accepts and awards the above referenced bid to Surpass Chemical, 1254 Broadway Avenue, New York, to be paid as follows: from Barney Road Pole Supplies, from the Locust Lane Pole Supplies, and from the Country Knolls Pole Supplies, in accordance with the amount used as each pole. A resolution proclaiming April 24th through the 30th, 2021 as Arbor Week 2021. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, wool for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our town increase property value, enhance the economic vitality of this area, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board urges all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And be it further resolved that the town board urges all residents to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. And be it further resolved that the town board does hereby declare April 24th through the 30th, 2021 to be Arbor Week in the town of Clifton Park, beginning with the celebration of Arbor Day on the Clifton Common on April 24th, 2021 to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands.
Very good. Any questions on the resolutions? All right, if you would read the headings, please, Teresa.
Resolution number 94 of 2021, a resolution hiring additional staff for the 2021 summer day camp program. So moved. Second.
By Mrs. Standard, second by Mrs. Flood. Violet?
We have a couple of returning counselors who got back to us after we did the original returning counselors resolution. So this is just to finish up with the returning counselors, and in a couple of weeks we'll have a resolution with new counselors.
Okay. Any questions from Violet? Teresa?
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 95 of 2021, a resolution hiring seasonal golf course employees for the Barney Road Golf Course for the 2021 season. So moved.
By Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Morelli. You didn't have a third person?
We didn't. I did interview someone, but he's looking for more money than what we have on our salary matrix. So we do have two. I've met with both of them since the interview over at the golf course, and they would both be starting this week. which will be great.
And they're making, so they're new,
Yes,
they're making $12.50,
I believe so.
$12.50 an hour.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, any questions from us? Okay, you listen.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandor?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes,
Resolution number 96 of 2021, a resolution authorizing 2021 final budget adjustments as specified in Exhibit A. So moved. Second.
moved by Mrs. Flood, second by Mrs. Standart. Oh, there it is. How you doing?
Good.
Anything to add here?
No, just the normal that I do at the end of the year to, in anticipation of filing the AUD.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, Teresa?
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandor?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes,
Resolution number 97 of 2021, a resolution awarding the bid for pool chemicals for the Barney Road, Locust Lane, and Burning Bush pools for the 2021 season.
Second.
moved by Mr. Morelli, second by Mrs. Flood. Discussion. Yes, please.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandor?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes,
Resolution number 98 of 2021, a resolution proclaiming April 24th through 30th, 2021 as Arbor Week 2021.
So moved. Second?
moved by Mrs. Flood, second by Mrs. Standart, and, anything else you want to mention?
No, there's really not much more to mention. Appreciate the consideration for the board. Thank you.
Very good.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandor?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, any other business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, we'll go to public privilege. If you'd like to speak on a town matter, please raise your hand. We'll ask you to come forward. State your name and address for the record, and please keep it 5 minutes or less. Any takers this evening? Yes, sir?
I just wanted to,
Excuse me, could
Go,
you,
could you-
with the mask, can you come to the podium, please? Thank you.
I'll get it off here.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you.
I don't speak publicly often, and
Sure.
I will make my apologies in advance for not having something better prepared.
No.
I read, I don't know if the board follows, general social media. Reading last night in Nextdoor, concern for some of the clear cutting that's been done, I thought it probably was appropriate for someone to maybe come and say something about it here.
Mhm.
I noticed in the park, not Collins Park, but on Mull Road near where, near the development I live in, it must have been the town that came through and took down all the trees in the park there. To me, that seemed counter to what, the basic premise of a park was. So part of what I wanted to do was to ask what prompted that, but also to maybe suggest that development not necessarily be always at the expense of the natural habitat here. I understand that's a difficult, what do they call it, a heavy lift, but I know that there are other, I'm not the only one in town to think that. I'm just a guy to come here and suggest it as a way forward, because we do have beautiful spaces. Having just retired recently, I've come to appreciate them, and I'd like to see them continued. So that was my only thing. I don't know whether there was something that prompted because it was like clear cutting a park. And even though it's a postage stamp park, it was, to me, it was pretty when it had trees there. And I had the impression that maybe it was for convenience that all the trees were removed.
And which park was this, sir? We have a lot
I think
of
they call it
parks,
Spirit Park, but I'm not sure. It's at the corner of
Oh,
Moe
corner of
and
Moe
Clifton
and
Park
Park
Center.
Center.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we had some trees that were unhealthy, but I'll confirm that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I sympathize with the prospect that development and nature sometimes collide, but I've thought about it a lot myself.
Mhm.
I think that part of the thought process here is to form a tree committee, and I'm not sure what they have as direction from the board, but maybe that would be appropriate as I get started. I started out interested in that, but was unable to continue. But I do, like everyone else in the town, have a vested interest in this being Clifton Park, not more like a suburb of Albany or what have you.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and I can, if you don't mind, if I could get your contact information after the meeting.
Certainly.
And no, and that's something that's been very, very much a concern of ours. That's why 20 years ago, we established an open space committee, started the open space planning process, and since that time, we've been able to permanently preserve 1,700 acres of property. And there's personal property rights that people have, and they're able to utilize their property within the confines of zoning and the law, as they see fit. So yes, you're always going to have that, development that's going to occur through that process of personal property rights in the development process, if they so choose. We've offered alternatives to that, where we've either purchased property outright in many cases. We've purchased development rights in other instances. So we've used monies collected through the development process to then protect property within the western part of town. So we've taken many different types of steps and utilized various options to get to the point where we've been able to protect that large amount of property as I described, which has exponentially increased our parks and recreational network that we're all able to enjoy. In addition to that, within those parks that I mentioned, we've gradually completed a lot of initiatives to make them more appealing and accessible. Whether it's the Bishop Ferry Preserve, Garnsey Park, or Wasco Nature Preserve, and others. So we continue to work toward making them even more accessible. We're now working on the Town Center Park concurrently. 37 acres that we were able to preserve right in the heart of Exit 9 was an important initiative. So we'll have some information upcoming on that, as well as we move forward with the engineering into 2020, 2021 and 2022.
Part of what got me interested, excuse me for interrupting.
Oh, sure.
Was just the fact that people got involved and that part of the town was preserved.
Yep.
So and I think it is difficult. I think it continues to be difficult, and I sympathize with it. I don't have much for skill. I have offered it on occasion, but I think coming here to speak was more about expressing what I believe other people have thought, and it's not a simple matter to come sort of knocking at the town's door,
Right.
hat in hand, so to speak. But it is, it's a timely, not just with Arbor Day, but with a lot of increased pressure for development all over the town to have that. I'm a tree guy, so I came to get my pitch, and that was it. I think the town is wonderful, and I'd like to see it maintained that way.
Well, there's no doubt when the real estate market is doing well, and gosh, I don't know how long it's been now where houses sell in a matter of a day or days in the town. A lot of reasons for that, low taxes, many great services, good schools, safe community. The list goes on and on. We're working to keep it that way, but it does make it a desirable place to be, and certainly there's demand. And people that own property will sometimes sell it for development. I didn't mention another program we have, which is a temporary protectionary program, which is our conservation easement program, where larger landowners agree not to develop their property for 15, 20, 25 years. Those are the 3 terms that they can choose in exchange for tax benefits. That's another temporary preservation program that we have in place. So we are doing everything we can, but there'll certainly be development as the town progresses, at least to some extent. I mean, the town grew from about 5,000 people in the early 60s to 30,000 by the end of the 80s. So that was a period of its very high growth. And now we're about 37,000, 30 years later. But what's changed is our neighbors have grown quite a bit. So they were very small. While the town of Clifton Park was growing exponentially. But now our neighbors are much bigger than they were back then. So it definitely applies pressure to the entire area.
I think the whole region is just growing tremendously, and will probably continue. So trying to deal with it I don't know the word for it. Trying to balance out the need for utilizing space that you have, but preserving the character. It's a tall order. Anyway.
Well, we're gonna keep working at it. It's like I said, we're a little over 20 years into that initiative, and we're just as active, if not more, than we've ever been over those 2 decades. We have an open space trails and riverfront committee that meets regularly, and they're very involved, thankfully. Right now, we're working on a submission to the town of Colony through an RFP process that'll hopefully lead to our acquisition and preservation of property around the Stony Creek Reservoir. And that's a large undertaking, but something that we believe is important to pursue. So we're also working on that as well. So yeah, there's always a lot going on, and same with trails. Trails and expanding our parks are two things that we believe are very important and continue to work on.
If I could just, sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead, you first.
If I could just add one point, certainly we want to get to the bottom of the specific instance that you're mentioning, but I could tell you I served on the planning board for a few years, and that board, which meets regularly, that review and approve projects that come before the board. Ad nauseum review, any development and do their best to, sometimes more so than is needed, but do their best to ensure that trees, the mature trees, are maintained for any development that goes into the, in our town, whether it be commercial, residential. I know there's a lot of effort put in by mostly volunteers, to ensure that we do exactly what you're speaking of. So those are the volunteers from our community that are giving their time and really look at each individual project in detail, and where there's always often a lot of back and forth with developers about, we want to maintain these trees as much as possible to keep, the character, to your point, of being Clifton Park and not, a suburb of a larger city like Barney or something like that. So I definitely appreciate, you bringing that to our attention. I can tell you, it's something that is reviewed regularly for development. And I know our open space committee, does a really good job advocating for that as well as the green committee. Turn it over to Council.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought this up as well, sir. Actually, the Green Committee is right now working on a tree committee. It's nothing that we have. Yeah, have you been involved in the process at all?
I would say nominally. I know the woman that runs the Green Committee, or I assume Joanne is your standard bearer, and excuse that.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
Joanne's been very involved for a long time.
Yep.
As long as
She's wonderful.
Councilman standard, anyway.
Yeah, and I am sure the committee that you form will do a fine job. I'm not sure of the focus that you'll have. One of the things that I expressed early in the process there was that I am not sure what was being prescribed as goals for the committee.
And we're working on that. It's a process. We want to make sure that we get our objectives right, and we really want to be kind of an advisory type committee to the board, to the planning board, to anyone who would like to hear what we have to say. You described yourself as a tree guy, so I would love to welcome you back. Perhaps we could reconnect. We are looking for active members for this tree committee.
There's
so if you're interested.
Yeah, turnabout is fair game, and I'm not dodging it. My turnabout is, you do the public side. My pitch has been more to the individual property owner, which I don't think your committee will ever endeavor. Arbor Day will promote the idea of foliage or what have you, but it has less backing, I think, or that's the impression I got early on. It's up to people that have mature trees. We happen to live in Clifton Knolls, and there are many, many wonderful properties that you would swear, from having grown up here, I would swear that's the perfect residence to live in. And people have different ideas about it, but I think a lot of people are put off by mature trees or anything but perfect lawn, and I see that as not not to my so much to my thinking. So I'm not working for you only on the private side.
Oh, okay. And you're right, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
I love my trees, but I swear at them in the fall.
And
As a lot of people do. But I live in Country Knoll, so we have very mature trees around.
Yeah, it takes forever for them to grow, and in afternoon, then they're gone. So trying to make from my standpoint, now this is the argument that I sort of try and convey is a little bit of that, you know, that what you think you'll have when you're done may not be all of what it is, that you had in mind.
Well, once they're cut, that's, yeah, but, you know, and giving that information to private property owners, I think, part of what Mrs. Standart's describing, ultimately it's their choice, but you can provide information that, you know, that they can make an informed decision, maybe a little more informed than perhaps they were thinking originally, then that's a good thing.
I'm just in sales, so to speak. I'm short on information, but long on enthusiasm, I guess.
Well, you have plenty of salesmen and plenty of companies that would love to take down all your trees. So if you can,
understand that part,
if you can be on the other side, and you're out there selling people not to do it, then that's a good counteract.
I don't want to run afoul of those people. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Much appreciated. How about you, sir?
Me?
Yeah,
I'm just here because I need,
because you have to.
Yeah.
I'm just here because I have to. Right, understood.
I will attend more though. I can promise you that.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be interesting, but I gotta admit, it's pretty interesting.
Well, and it's a fairly brief agenda. You know, we have 3 meetings a month, so, which is extremely rare. I don't know if anybody else has 3 working meetings a month, but, so they can vary in length. Sometimes they're pretty short, sometimes they're longer because there's 3. I mean, there's only so much business to do in a month's time. But, you're always welcome. I love the shirt, by the way. I know what it means.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's the one, that's the car I want.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm waiting for my wife to buy me one for my birthday or something.
I have a question. Is it your government teacher sending you here, or history, or what?
I'm in the TechSmart program through HVCC, and we take a public policy course, and we had 2 mastery projects that were to do with the community. One was we had to do, I think it was 7 or 8 hours of community service. And the other was we had to attend 2 public meetings. So this is my first one. And then on Wednesday, I'm attending my second one. So through HVCC in a public policy.
Which meeting are you attending on Wednesday?
The Boston Spot meeting for recreational spaces.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we'll see you later. I'll let you know when I get there. Joe, are you, how you doing? Thanks.
Doing fine, sir.
All right. Anything for us?
No, sir.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Second by Mrs. Standards.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowa?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, thank you.
What's going on at Shopper? How's your brother doing? Okay.
We have time.